Appeal Court bars Federal High Court from dabbling into Kano Emirate legal tussle. Policeman in viral Naira abuse video detained for misconduct. Sacked Kano SSG Bichi threatens to expose Governor Yusuf Kwankwaso with incriminating audio, videos and documents. Death toll in Los Angeles fires rises to 10. Hello, welcome to the news update on Trust TV. My name is Hawa Gambo. Thank you for joining us. In a split decision of 2 justices to 1, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has barred the Federal High Court in Kano from adjudicating over the Kano Emirate legal battle. The appellate court held that the court has no jurisdiction to dabble into the Kano State chieftaincy matters on the ground that such a case can only be determined by the Kano High Court. Justice Gabriel Kolawole, who delivered the lead judgment, held that the Federal High Court has no business adjudicating over the chieftaincy matters, but ordered that the matter be returned to the Kano State High Court, being the proper court for such matters. The presiding Justice Mustafa Mohammed and another justice agreed with Justice Kolawole that the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to go into the Kano Emirate legal battle. Consequently, the 2 justices struck out the proceedings of the Federal High Court on the ground that it had no jurisdiction to have dabbled into the matters in the first instance. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has approved the appointment of Prince Abimbola Owoade as the new Alafin of Oyo. The development comes 2 years after the death of Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, former occupier of the throne, and the crisis that trailed appointment of his successor. In a statement on Friday, Commissioner for Information and Orientation Dotun Oyelade said the governor had consented to the appointment of a new king, who he said was chosen after extensive consultations and traditional divinations conducted by the Oyo kingmakers, the Oyo Messi. The commissioner prayed that his reign will bring peace, prosperity and unity to the historic Oyo kingdom. He said the announcement ends the legal and social disputes that followed the passing of the former Alafin Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, who died on April 22, 2022. Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Ademola Ojo, urged the people of Oyo to lend their support to the new Alafin. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, on Friday ordered actions against the attackers of the Ngazei Divisional Police Headquarters in Borno State. A Thursday attack by Boko Haram terrorists left 2 officers dead and 1 officer critically injured as the terrorists exchanged fire with police on duty at the station before they were eventually overpowered and repelled with the assistance of the Civilian Joint Task Force, who is stationed near the police station. Responding to the incident, which occurred at about 12:10 a.m. on Friday, statement signed by the force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumiyoa Adejobi identified the dead 2 police officers as Inspector Bartolomeo Kalawa and Corporal Mustafa Huzaifat. Adejobi said Egbetokun, after condemning the attack, ordered an immediate and thorough crackdown on the perpetrators, saying that any cop killers will not go unpunished. The IGP also expressed deep condolences to the families of the deceased officers, affirming that their sacrifices in the line of duty will not be forgotten. The Ogun State Police Command has arrested a 25-year-old suspected cultist in possession of firearms around Olamobe Akute Road in Ifo local government area of the state. The State Police Public Relations Officer Omolola Odutola disclosed this in a statement issued in Abeokuta, the state capital. According to her, the suspect, Abiodun John, is the leader of the Alora cult, with a firearm found in his possession during a routine search inside the vehicle he was driving at the time of his arrest. She said during the search of the vehicle, 2 locally made pistols and 3 live cartridges were discovered in his possession. The Nigerian police force has detained a yet-to-be-named officer seen in a viral video with Wahab and Rahim, sons of billionaire businessman Chief Rasak Okoya, abusing the naira. This was disclosed by the force public relations officer Olumiyiwa Adejobi on his X handle on Friday. According to him, the moment captured in the video involving the police officer is unethical and contrary to the values of the force, stressing that disciplinary actions is underway to address the misconduct. Recall that last week, the video of the 2 Okoya sons abusing naira has attracted widespread criticism, with many believing that nothing will happen to them because of their father's status in the country. As the video continued, it captured the mobile policeman holding bundles of 1,000 naira notes while the billionaire's sons danced and flung the cash into the air. Former Secretary to the Kano State Government, Abdullahi Bichi, has threatened to unveil details about Governor Abba Yusuf and his political mentor, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Bichi said he had compromising documents, voice recordings and videos that he would expose when the time is right. He spoke while addressing the public for the first time since being dismissed from his position, along with 5 other commissioners by the governor in December 2024. Addressing his supporters on Thursday, shortly after his return from Saudi Arabia, the former SSG promised to reveal the actions of his previous political allies.
I'm done with my work in good faith. Now is not the time to talk. There is a lot to say. There are many things written in audio and in video. God crossed our path with people that are not trustworthy. Time will come that we will bring things out for people to hear and understand who they are. They are not to be trusted. They don't know anything but deceit and betrayal. I thank the people of Bichi. You will hear from us in a short while, because what we want is to help people.
Stakeholders in the education sector and parents in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have raised concerns that the rising cost of acquiring education in Nigeria will affect knowledge acquisition in the country. According to them, the impact will not only affect the learning process but also the overall development of the country. Ado Musa completes the story.
The rising cost of education in Nigeria has become a pressing national issue, affecting all levels of learning, from primary to tertiary institutions. Many families are struggling to afford school fees, textbooks, and other essential learning materials, leaving children at risk of being sent home.
Really, the cost of education is affecting the children directly. Why? Because if you look at the learning material, the price of learning material is very high now. Parents are not be able now to buy the material for students.
As a parent, I think it is beyond comparison, because let me just take this to save our time. My elder sister was complaining last year that her first child, that she bought books, Macmillan, that book that is about, I think, 190-something thousand naira just for her first child. And do you know what? They said the second child cannot use that book. So don't you think that is a serious problem in Nigeria?
We cannot, this 3 square meal, we cannot get it. And talk more of paying our children's school fees. That is why sometimes you see them sending our children away from the school. And sometimes when they send them away from the school, their life is at risk, because we don't know where they go. Some of them don't even come home. They follow company of friends.
The parents are not having enough to pay the school fees and other aspects of life.
School principals and proprietors in Jos attribute the high cost of education to rising operational expenses, inflation, and inadequate funding for the sector.
Actually, if you want to maintain or manage school, at least you need to pay heavily I mean, the staffing, maintaining the infrastructure, maintaining the school in general. So these, if you want to compare it with the level of education today and the schools, so you have to charge a bit higher.
Let me cite an instance with the production of, maybe, let me call it locally decks. The decks one we use in the past is not more than 10,000 naira. But today, for a school, or for one to produce a decks, costing almost 60 to 70,000 naira per one.
Emmanuel Dang, a lecturer at the University of Jos, warns that the rising cost of education will have far-reaching consequences for the nation's development.
When people are becoming disenchanted with the educational system, it means that the future is going to be very, very dangerous, going to be very dicey, because we are breeding a generation that will come up that may not have the requisite knowledge in order to run the entire system, so everything will crumble. So this is a very serious pandemic issue.
Stakeholders insist that unless the government steps in to address the rising cost, the future of quality education for Nigeria's next generation may be at risk.
Well, the implication is that in the near future, certainly we may be graduating quacks. I mean, in all various fields, quack teachers, quack doctors, and whether we like it or not, these students must be the teachers of our children, the doctors of our own children in the near future.
I want to appeal to the government to look at their own side and see how they can be aiding them. Because any individual who operates a school today, if really you want to meet up with the standards and you don't have the means, there is a problem there.
Just a brief look at the 2025 budget that was presented by the president last year, a budget of over 45 trillion naira. And when you check into that particular budget, you discover that less than 3.5 trillion is what was allocated to education. Now, looking at it in line with what we want to achieve, you will discover that we have less than 6% of the budget going to education, in which the UNESCO have as a benchmark that not less than 26% of budget should be allocated to education.
The federal government has repeatedly assured Nigerians of its commitment to improving the standard of living. But for parents in Jos and beyond, the plea remains clear: subsidize education to give every child a chance at quality learning. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
This is the news update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Despite huge economic potential, Kano's biggest kola nut market dealing with dilapidated infrastructure. More news when we return. Do stay with us. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at some of our top stories again. Appeal Court bars Federal High Court from dabbling into Kano Emirate legal tussle. Policeman in viral Naira abuse video detained for misconduct. Now moving to other stories. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has confirmed that no fewer than 9 people had died and 21 others injured in a road crash in Dankama, Kaita local government area of Katsina State. This was contained in a statement by the Sector Commandant Aliyu Ma'aji through the command's Public Relations Officer Shamsuddin Babaju on Thursday in Katsina. Ma'aji said the incident occurred when a trailer carrying cows and some passengers separated from the main body and fell onto a pavement. He added that the trailer driver was trying to avoid crushing a woman that fell from the top of a golf car overloaded with beans. According to him, the trailer driver, while trying to avoid crushing the woman, lost control of the vehicle, causing the trailer to separate from the main body. Life is slowly returning to the Akbar Road area following the devastating explosion of a diesel tanker that claimed the lives of 4 individuals and left businesses in ruins. While the physical scars may fade, the emotional toll lingers and victims are in the painstaking process of rebuilding their lives from the wreckage. Jonathan Awanyai brings us the latest update on this story.
Normalcy is gradually being restored at the traffic light junction on the old Lagos-Asaba Road in Agbo, where a tragic tanker explosion shocked the community to its core. The wreckage has been cleared, and both human and vehicular movement have resumed, but the emotion scares are far from erased. Residents and business owners are seen repairing their homes and shops, while some look to both government assistance and the kindness of others to help them rebuild what they have lost.
Everything done. So I'm pleading to the kind-hearted individual from Nigeria, for policies, anywhere government to come to our aids, because we have nothing to start from, so that we'll have something to start or feed our families.
Not about the gusu, now my raw cash. When they inside, now they cry for. Both the store, both the packet store. How we say now the main store now bonfire, say my warehouse day in order. That's it. That's not what I'm praying. Let the government and the NDDC let them come assist.
During an assessment visit to the site, Chiedu Ebie, chairman of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), assured the victims of the agency's support in their recovery efforts.
We'll definitely see how best we can support to support the affected persons, because people, as you can see, people have lost their sources of livelihood, and so we call on not just government institutions, but also good-spirited individuals to come to the aid of. But we definitely will support them. We're going to compile a list of those that have been affected, determine the losses incurred. That's for those that lost material things, and see how best we can support them.
ABA also extended heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased, pledging the NDDC's assistance to help them through these difficult times. While life may never fully return to what it was before the explosion, for many, with support and resilience, the affected residents hold hope for recovery and rebuilding. Jonathan Awanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Across Nigeria, kola nuts are more than just a food item. They are an integral to local and cultural values, playing a central role in ceremonies, rituals, and daily life. At the heart of this tradition lies the bustling Mariri Kola Nut Market in Kano, known for its year-round activity and diverse arrays of kola nut varieties. Despite its cultural significance, the market faces challenges related to infrastructure, taxation, and the delicate handling of the precious commodity. Trust TV's Abdul Aziz Ibrahim has more.
The Mariri Kola Nut Market attracts merchants, transporters and porters from all corners of the region, all depending on the steady flow of kola nuts to sustain their livelihoods. Kola nut is a precious food here. People often wonder if it's just for eating, as the market is busy all year round, except early in Ramadan. The slogan on one of the vehicles, which reads Goro Bangagare Kaba, captures just how important this trade is to the community. Yes, we have been able to achieve a lot in the kola nut business. So I'm the driver of this vehicle, and we named it that way to celebrate all our achievements. This type of goro is called Mizan in Goro, and through its trade, I've traveled to many towns in Niger Republic and several states in Nigeria. The kola nuts sold here are typically wrapped in small paper priced between 18,000 naira and 21,000 naira, depending on the variety. Larger merchants sell them in bulk bags. At this section, we sell varieties like Gorongini, Mangoro, and Nagana. The most expensive variety can cost up to 210,000 naira per bag. Though not native to northern Nigeria, kola nuts are widely consumed across the region. They are deeply respected in ceremonies in the eastern and western parts of the country, where they are cultivated in several states. We buy from places like Ore, Shagamu, Ondo, Ikare in the southwestern part of the country, and even abroad. We go to places such like Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire, then we have Cameroon and also in Guinea. So this is the main hub for kola that attracts buyers from far and wide to this place in Kano State. And those who buy here are the ones who go to sell the kola nuts in various markets, not only in Kano State, but even beyond this state. With Nigeria producing 52.4% of the world's kola nuts, the Mariri Market Association is calling on both federal and state governments to provide support, particularly in the areas of infrastructure, taxation, and immigration procedures. We urge the federal government to reduce taxes on routes used to bring in these kola nuts, and we also request better immigration check processes, as the fragile product often suffers losses during some of these checks. And then additionally, we seek improvements to the Lagos-Kano highway, which presents a lot of challenges for our vehicles. And then finally, we ask the government to improve the infrastructure where we offload the kola nuts here in the market. Despite these challenges, the Mariri kola nut market continues to thrive as a vital trade hub, sustaining both the local economy and cultural heritage while striving for better infrastructure and government support. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
In the business scene, the Naira appreciated against the dollar at the official foreign exchange market for the first time this week. FMDQ data showed that the Naira gained 0.47 kobo at 1,541 Naira 23 kobo per dollar on Thursday, from 1,541 Naira 70 kobo traded the previous day. Meanwhile, the Naira remained stable at 1,660 Naira per dollar on Thursday, the same exchange rate recorded the previous day. The development comes as the CBN on Thursday announced an immediate suspension of approvals for the extension of repatriation export proceeds. The past 3 days of the week, the Naira has continued to dip against the dollar. Away from Nigeria, massive wildfires that engulfed whole neighborhoods and displaced thousands in Los Angeles have killed at least 10 people, authorities said, as California's National Guard soldiers prepared to hit the streets to help quell the disorder. News of the growing toll, announced late Thursday by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner, came as swaths of the United States' second largest city lay in ruins. A vast firefighting operation continued into the midnight, bolstered by water-dropping helicopters thanks to a temporary lull in winds, even as new fires continue to spring up. With reports of looting, Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna said a nighttime curfew was planned and the state's National Guard was on hand to patrol affected areas. Governor Gavin Newsom said the service members were part of a 1,000-strong deployment of state personnel. And in the sporting arena, Nigerian Premier Football League's champion Enugu Rangers have taken a significant step towards global recognition by signing a partnership deal with Switzerland's FC Shop Fashion. The collaboration, facilitated by Bold Base, aims to build a legacy of excellence for generations to come, according to the club's chairman Amobi Ezeaku. A statement released on Thursday by the team's media team said Rangers boss disclosed the development after the endorsement of documents at the Swiss club's base, Schaffhausen, on Thursday. As the club continues to make strides in Nigerian football, the partnership is expected to open up new opportunities for growth, development, and international exposure. Rangers have a rich history, having been founded in 1970 and boasting an impressive record of 6 Nigerian League titles and 3 FA Cups. And with that, we come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us on all media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel for constant live streams of programs and documentaries. My name is Hawa Gambo. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.